Hey, look at this box. Is it or Shinola? Morning. So we're in the auction truck. Guess what? Heading to an auction. It's pretty nice out today. I got a lighter coat. It's supposed to get up to 50. It's about 30 right now. And we should be there in 15 or 20 minutes. So tag along. Let's go see what they got. I actually kind of love that. Oh, that's beautiful. I like both those pieces. Man, I might have a mirror for that thing. It's kind of a low quality dresser. It's not even dovetail. Feels a little rickety too. We'll have to see. I really kind of like the pulls on this. The dresser's pretty wasted, but I could sell those pulls. Pulls are a really good market for old pulls. Old oil spouts, rice masher, old traps. Man, it's a lot of grinders. Oh, it's a whole lot of grinders. Coca-Cola. Probably gonna buy it. That's kind of unique old store display. Man, a lot of wood stuff. That's cute. Wow, that's really a good one. I need to try to own that. Everybody here is going to want that. That's going to go high. Wow, look at the size of that thing. That is a huge soup tureen. A little bit of a crack. Cool dispensers. Nice shade. Looks like it's all there. Few old photos. Like mostly baby stuff. Wedding. That's an old tackle box. Horrible paint job. Old projector. Paymaster. That's a pretty good set. That's one of those coffee pots where it drip perks into it. I forget what they're called. Percolator or something like that. Drippolator. Oh, check out that old sconce. That's cool. Those things really ring the bell. They sell so fast. Try to get that box. Well, somebody's missing their little kitchen at home. That's interesting. It's unusual. Cool toaster. Box of Noritake. It's all shoe shine there. Oh, there's stuff inside of it. Full Hansen scale. No, that stuff's not for me. I just bought 4 of those at the last sale. Pretty much the same vintage as that, which is like late 60s. They don't sell for a ton of money, 15 to 20 bucks. It's a pretty old mixing bowl right there. Purina Mink Chow. That's interesting. I'll try to buy that. Old coal scuttle. Ringer for a ringer washer. I should buy that. I have a stand. I'm missing one. See how that goes. Horseshoes. Is that what is that? Oh, somebody put a lid on a lampshade. Looked like some kind of weird decanter. Okay, well, it's kind of a cool shade. Don't really need it for anything, but maybe I'll keep an eye on it. Old planter, ice tongs. Not real big money stuff, just basic bread and butter, antique stuff that you can sell for just to keep the cash register ringing. Nice old footed silver plate pitcher. Looks like Rogers. Oh, those are kind of cool. Little signage like that doesn't come out very often, even though it's not old. That's old. It's weird to see one rusty. It's unusual. I like that. I like that shade. It's pretty cool. Whoa, look at these. Oh. That's really cool. I definitely want that box. Army belts. Wow, that's a beast. That's huge. I bet that's 7.5 feet tall. It's got some nice little antique stopper bottles in there. They're glass stoppers. It's pretty good. Pretty cool vase, a little bud vase there. Nice. It's a pretty good little box. Little cutter. Wow. Old-time two-man saws. They're really, really in rough shape. That is a portable pump organ. That's an Este.
some toys. Mike's got to stand there, give me $5 on it. It's $5, give me a dollar bill, dollar bill. Now two, good to see you, two. One here, $2 on it now, three, four, four, five, five, I believe wood, seven.
So back at the antique shop. So it was kind of a borderline sale. I was really struggling to find stuff. I didn't get a real lot of home runs here, but I did get some pretty cool stuff. Where to start? All right. You guys may or may not know what this is, but this is like one of the first mass-produced Coleman lanterns, and it's called a Quick Light. And this one is dated May of 1919. This pretty old, 105. Bottom's in real nice shape, like really, really good shape. And there's some pitting in the nickel, but it looks all right. They're not worth a fortune, maybe 50, 60, 70 bucks, depending on how complete it is. I gotta go back and check all this stuff and make sure it works. Oh, it's moving. Because when this stuff seizes up, you gotta disassemble everything and soak it. But the knob is turning, so I'm halfway there. So that's pretty cool. And this is just a ash scuttle. I don't know why somebody has a ribbon on it, but there's a ribbon on it. And the coal shovel. Antique coal scuttles like that are actually really popular online. And if you got a little pot belly or something like that, it's just a really cool decoration to sit next to it. So I was happy to get that. I'm happy to get everything. Some of it's better than others. Kind of typical old-timey scale. This is kind of weird. There were all these boxes of grinders, and so they were closing out an old antique store. So all this stuff is basically labeled from what their asking prices were, but they're all tabletop clamp style grinders, mashers. Most everybody knows what these universal grinders are. Make sausage, you can do a ton of different things with these. This is how food processing was done back in the day when everybody did it in their home. And they made them in a variety of different sizes, a variety of different blades. And I'm not gonna go through each one, but there's just boxes of them. And I think I bought the boxes, I think they were like $3 a box or some ridiculous number like that. And yeah, you don't get a fortune for these. Like this one, they have it tagged at 10 bucks. But 10 bucks for that. And it's an antique. It's an old timer. But, you know, if you were walking down the sidewalk and you saw $7 laying on the sidewalk, would you step over it or would you reach down and pick it up? I'm gonna pick it up. So anyway, that's what all these different boxes are for. And again, $3 a box, there's two in that one, there's two in this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in this one. You know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in that one. Why wouldn't you pick that up? Probably my favorite piece, really, that I got out of the whole thing was this antique wall sconce. And let me get closer to the camera with it. I love these old ceramic ones. They really are just beautiful. Hand painted. What happened though is somebody pulled the guts on it, which you would want to do anyway if you were doing a restoration on one of these. You can see there's no socket inside there. So it's a real easy fix, but you're gonna have to jump through the hoops to do it. I'm not gonna re-enable this because that's just not a good idea. But you know, when those are fixed up and they're ready for service, I get about $50 for one of these. You wouldn't think so, but that antique lighting like that is really super popular. And one thing I love about lighting, what more sets the mood of a room than whatever kind of lighting that you have in it. So when I see old pieces like this, These, ho-hum, no big deal, but that's cool. I like that. And it's kind of unidirectional. The light would come out this side, the rest of it is really just shade. But good pieces. So most of you have probably seen one of these old Paymasters. The reason that these are so collectible is because the manufacturer really did a killer job with all their paint schemes. They look amazing, and they have bright pastels and all kinds of strange colors on these. So these are pretty good sellers. This thing is in amazing condition for its age. I've got a bunch of these, and these are back in the day for log cabin building, and anything that you want to peg. So you drill your hole with this, and then you have a peg and you drive it in, glue it in, or just leave it force fit in. But these are really good sellers. Geez, you guys, another Coke crate, can you believe it? Sounds impossible to believe I would buy a Coke crate, right? I bought a little bit older version than this at the last sale. Thank you guys, if you watched my last video, you saw that. This is just a little bit, just when I say like maybe 5 years newer model. There's no cord, but that's where the cord would plug in. You can buy these, you can buy cords for these brand new, aftermarket. Most of your big box home supply stores have those cords. You can buy them yet. They're, I don't know, $8 to $12, depending where you go. Then you put your toast in there and shut her up. And they just always look good. Look how perfect. I mean, the thing is shine up like a new penny. It's amazing. I bought this because of there was a lot of glass at this sale. Wrong one. That's the right one. And so, I'm not huge onto this kind of thing, but when they have the original glass stoppers for them yet, can't go wrong. And then there's 5 of these old school oil spouts. Remember when oil cans were sold and they didn't have a built-in pour spout? Well, you would have to have one of these at home in your garage. And you pierce the can, pour it in your car. And this is a primitive, this is home built. It's kind of cute little step stool and a old-timey baby sled. It's kind of fun. Isn't it amazing through the magic of television how 1 second there's nothing on this table and then table's loaded with stuff? All right, so you're probably wondering what this is. This is how shoes were fixed back in the day. So you have these changeable size forms, and they're cast iron, different size shoes obviously. And I just saw this, and these aren't incredibly great sellers, but I mean, this dump is all scarred and beat up, and it's just, somebody clearly made this to use like a million years ago. So I thought I'd take these other ones and try to figure out some way to display them on here. And I'm probably not gonna do much of this. I might turn the hose on this and get the heavy, thick dust and crud off of it. And I think I'm just gonna leave it live here in the antique shop. It certainly would be cost prohibitive to try to ship it. And it weighs a ton, and the box is gonna be at least that big, and I don't think so. I bought a bookend. But, well, a bookend can be a doorstop. But this is super heavy cast. And I remember a friend of mine gave me one recently she found in her attic. And I think it's close, but maybe not exactly like this. But maybe they're close enough that they can be a set. So I grabbed that when I was there. Look at this horseshoe. That's off a draft horse, probably a Clydesdale, maybe a Belgian. I do great with these, selling them online. That looks more like your typical draft horse, but look at the size of this beast. Imagine if that thing stepped on your toe. I mean, that's probably a 1,400 pound animal that's wearing that thing. Anyway, I do great with that kind of stuff. Farm country up here. All those old farms have stuff like that. And this box is just game horseshoes. And there's 2 sets, and they're really old. And I do great with these online too. One set of these would probably bring 25 to 35 bucks. This old brass bowl. It's riveted, it's hand hammered, it's soldered, and it's in killer shape. There's not a dent. Everything's straight. Why not? And this, I'm not sure what they were doing with this. There's 2 sets of legs in here. Like they were, I don't know, maybe they were gonna mount this on the legs, or maybe it's just coincidence they happen to be in there. I don't know. But I thought the legs were interesting, so I didn't leave them behind. I brought them home, which I got out of the habit of doing that, because the home is, everything here is just starting to be, like, there's a ton of stuff, man. But if you know what this is, here, let me slide this stuff out of the way. So this is upside down, but what this is would be a cover for a really super old sewing machine. And you know, the kind that have the cast iron bases, and you flip the thing up and, you know, it's a convertible. The sewing machine pops up and it's a treadle. Well, before they made the kind that pop up, they had the kind that the sewing machine head just was stationary on top of the table. And these covers are the ones that went over the top of them. So these are the earliest pieces. I have one here somewhere. It's, geez, I can't think of the name of it. But when anybody sees it, the first thing they want to buy is they just want to buy the cover. And since I don't have a sewing machine that goes with this, I finally have one I can sell. There's some joints are, I don't know if you can see them spreading apart. I need to give it a little bit of a PVA glue and a chiropractic move there with some clamps. This baby's gonna be ready to go. Pretty cool. This side's flat. This is a show side with kind of a wooden, sort of a modified hobnail look to it. I don't think I would even restore that. I'm thinking I'm just gonna clean it, oil, glue it, and then oil it and call it a day. And it's gonna look like $1 million bucks. So this is a little non-typical for the type of things I buy. But when you go to a sale and it's kind of marginal, you spent the gas, you're there, you got to try to make your day pay for itself. This, though, is very cool. It's a 3-chain hanging shade. It almost looks depression glass. It's not. It's probably that era, though. And all this stuff here, okay, this is USA Pottery, vintage, out of California, base. This is Maurice Ceramics out of California, the drip glaze ashtray from the 60s. This is from the American Mold Company. And they put a lot into these. I mean, just, I don't know if you can see the detail, how all that's feathered in, 2-sided, no chips, nice clean stuff. This is not rare, but it's in good shape. I don't see any breaks on it. I don't see any chips. It's hand painted. 1987. It's F&F. F&F is Fitz and Floyd, and those are popular. This is another one in good shape. See that? It's old school McCoy. McCoy's always top notch. I think I got some in here. This is McCoy. Seems to be in pretty good shape. That's just an old sticker there. It's not a chip. Set this somewhere. I've been to the movies a million times. It's another USA Pottery. Good shape though. USA Pottery too. It's an 8.5 inch. That's old school, man. That's old timey. Does have a little hairline. Doesn't go through though. Well, barely. You can see a shadow of it going through. It's not all the way through. Doesn't matter. Still a great seller. I think they call these cookie jars a thumbprint jar. And it's a McCoy 254. Lid, no chips. Nice. Really clean. Really good stuff. And then the great big one here. This thing is old. The lid does have a crack in it. You can see that. Little chip. It's probably what started the whole thing. And it does go through. See the crazing on that? But this is super old. This is Laughlin. I don't know how much. I bet you that's a gallon and a half or 2 gallons. Pretty amazing shape. I'm stoked to get it. The only thing I don't like about this stuff, I don't mind selling glass. I do mind packing it. I do mind shipping it. It's a pain. To get this, the person that wants to buy this is going to be in California. It's a state law or something. I don't know. Everything that's super fragile like this, somebody in California wants it. So, as soon as I start, either the furnace kicks on or grandfather clock starts to chime. Oh, this is kind of cool, but this is all hand painted. Kind of neat. This is an antique sauce cut. This is an antique sausage stuffer. Put your material in there. You stretch your casing out on the end, and you crank that down, and it just pushes it through. This is a old-time steel, super heavy duty, steel storage bin. These are stackable. So that lid was designed so another one identical to this would set right on top of it. I don't know if you can read that, it's embossed. It says All-American Chicago. And somebody's shabbied this thing, but they did a cool job. Looks nice, bottom's in good shape, inside and out. So I see these on eBay bringing 40 to 60 bucks. Found another antique frame. And I'm not a fan when people put mirrors in there, so I'll be taking that out and reworking this whole frame to make it solid and usable again. But yeah, it's in good shape overall. Happy with how solid it is. This is cast iron wood stove door, or maybe even a coal burning door. And people just bolt these onto their walls and they create like the illusion that there's a furnace in, their display rooms or man caves or whatever. I've seen some pretty cool. I even saw one guy that built a locomotive, like a locomotive was coming out of the wall. Pretty interesting. I would never have dreamt something like that up. So this is no great shakes. We've all seen your basic shoe shine box before. This is old, but Shinola is the money shot for sure. So I'm currently right now restoring some really old family movies. Pre-sound, these were shot on a handheld 16 millimeter movie film camera. And this is the sort of thing you would need to play it back on. I see this is geared up for 8. This will play either 8 or Super 8. And it's an old Bell & Howell. Really clean though. Pretty amazing for its vintage. Well, these were cool. They're not crazy old as you can imagine. Back in the day, we didn't have Lexan. So these are probably 70s, maybe 80s, something like that. But I just like the message, and I just kind of thought I'd maybe leave them up in here and use them in here somewhere. But that might be cool. This old store display is amazing. And it's really old. Look at the back. You can tell that from back in the day. Not entirely sure what they would have used in there. Maybe spices, things like that. I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna put it in here and I'll figure out stuff that I can put in it. I bought this old plant stand. Needs refinishing, but I'm the guy for that. And I have its sister here somewhere. It's about 6 inches shorter, same exact thing. So I thought it'd be cool to have a pair. So I bought those and I'm gonna fix those up. And then, man, more cool lighting shades, just really cool. This is a chain style. I think all these are actually. Check out the colors on that one. You could throw it up in the air and you could tell everybody you saw a UFO. Cut that out of there. We don't want that in there. Pretty cool though, right? And then the counterpart and just frosted and clear. And these are all chain hangers. Cool little bezel. Some miscellaneous hardware in there, which is always good to have when you're doing any kind of retrofit. And then I got a bucket of these. They aren't worth a ton of money, but they're local. So it's Whiteco soda, carbonated drink, and it's out of Marion, Wisconsin, which is probably 40 miles from here or so. Super thick. I imagine they're 5 to maybe 7 ounces. Content 7.5 ounces. Anyway, there's a bucket of, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, looks like a dozen of them. That kind of thing always sells well. Trying to make the sale work. This is a really good set. And I don't know if you can read that. It's a McCoy 252 made in the US. So it's a set of 4 canisters. They all have a different country theme graphic on them. It's a complete set of 4 with the lids in jam-up shape. There's a chip, but it was nice that they put the chip on the underside. I think there's another chip somewhere in one of them, real minor one. So I got that set of 4. This is 1940s Noritake. And these were, if you know anything about Noritake, that particular time it was still occupied Japan. So it's kind of a big deal. What gorgeous condition this stuff is in. It's literally like new. And there's a bunch of pieces in here. There's plates and soup dishes and saucers and coffees and creamers and gravy boats and the whole thing. So I think, just, you know what, there was so much stuff there at the auction. There was a lot of really marginal stuff. And I think people lost interest, so they left. I think it was less than $5 I paid for this entire box. That first piece I showed you, I can probably get $35 to $75 for that, just that one piece. So that was a home run. But it's slow money. Somebody that's got this set's gonna drop it and break a lid, and then they're gonna go online looking for this pattern, and that's how this stuff gets sold. It gets sold by the piece, just for replacement. Same with this set. This is Homer Laughlin. Right. Here it is. You can see. And again, it's got very similar amount of pieces that set's got. And I think I paid $6 or $7 for this box full. And well, you can see she was getting $12 a plate, which is about right. It's got $95 on this butter dish, covered butter. So I don't know if they're worth quite that much, but I don't need to get greedy. As long as I can make some money, that's fine. And then this piece, which was really great. This came out of my friend's little retail space that he had. Him and his wife used to run it before COVID took them both. And I don't know if I'm going to part with that because it's going to remind me of him. So I think I'm going to hang on to that. But gorgeous frame, gorgeous artwork, artist signed. Friend of mine, we're talking just the other day, and it's like back in the day, you go in anybody's living room, they'd have a great big statement piece like this on the wall behind the sofa in their living room. Hey everybody, thanks so much for coming along on this one, and got another one coming up on the 23rd, and I'm supposed to go look at a shed full of stuff next week. I don't know if they'll let me film or not, but I'll try. If so, you'll see it. If not, the next one will be on the 23rd. Thanks so much for coming along on this one, and thanks for watching. Be safe. See you soon.